friends, it's Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead, and today is a rainy day, which unfortunately means we can't get in the garden today, and we're really in our heavy season of garden work, trying to get everything done in the next couple weeks, get everything planted and in the ground. So I guess we'll take this rainy day as an opportunity to work on some much needed schoolwork. During garden season, we're taking a break from our planned and scheduled bookwork. Well, we did that not just because of garden season, but we found with Adam being home from work on this stay-at-home order, our schedule and routine has been off, and we really want to enjoy that time together and focus on some projects. So we've taken a little break from our bookwork, and what I did is had the kids each come up with a list of goals of things that maybe sometimes get pushed aside and we don't have the time to focus on in a normal homeschooling day. But if they were given free time in the morning, these are maybe things that they would really love to master or learn. And so that's what we're going to focus on today, is letting the kids explore some of those goals that they've created for themselves, and that'll be really fun. So rainy days are sort of a blessing in that they allow us to focus on some other things other than the homestead work. But I've got a grumpy guy right here who's really hungry, so we're going to get breakfast out of the oven and call everybody down to eat. What do you think, John? Yeah, he's hungry. Let's go eat. Our pumpkin muffins are all done out of the oven. This recipe I have posted on my Instagram account. It's a pretty common breakfast here for us, but I used our homegrown butternut squash from last year's garden in these. The kids are going to really enjoy that this morning. Good morning, Levi.
Good morning.
Working on some eggs here, two for them to have in addition to the muffins, but the little boys couldn't wait any longer. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Do you like your muffins?
Yeah.
Do you want some eggs, too? Yes? Okay. So as soon as I get these eggs done, I'm going to call the big kids. Two dozen muffins doesn't go very far with this hungry crew. You guys leave some for David.
Leave for David. Great. 4. Not each. Yeah. Wait. Everyone gets 4. There's one extra.
Pass me your plate if you need. Will you get some forks out for me?
Papa's coming next week?
Yeah, I think he might stop by next week.
Papa's coming on Tuesday. Yeah, I win. Well, look. They're growing. David, it was 7:14. How wet is every year?
7:14. But it was around the same time.
Okay, fill in their bellies. Time for Mom to fold the laundry. This is what a kitchen looks like when you leave 6 children in here to eat unsupervised. So, our next job is getting this cleaned up, and we'll all work together to get it done. It's been quite a morning already. John, my youngest, I don't know, the last 2 weeks he's been acting very differently. Just whinier, I don't know. He just turned 2 recently, and so maybe it's just developmentally something's going on, or, children are perceptive. Maybe he senses that the baby's coming and things are about to change. But whatever it is, I don't know if he didn't sleep well last night or he's not feeling well, but he has been a bear this morning. So I've been having fun dealing with that. The kids are finishing up their morning chores, and I'm sitting here in the schoolroom going over the children's lists. They each made me a list of 5 goals that they would like to focus on during this time where they're not doing their planned book work. I had mentioned we're kind of doing an unschooling season, and we tend to do that a lot where we'll switch. There are times in my life where having super structured school time, using a lot of book work where that serves me very well and we get a lot accomplished. And then there's really busy times, maybe right after I have a baby or during gardening or canning seasons. It's just too much for me to focus on the structured schoolwork and all the other work I need to do. So we're in that season right now where we just need a little bit of a break. So anyways, I'm going over the kids' lists here to see the goals they picked out and kind of figure out what they can focus on today. So Elizabeth, who is 7, she wants to learn how to ride a bike. She wants to work out during this time, build a nice solid fort outside, study birds, and do some garden work. So since most of her stuff is outdoor and it's rainy today, we'll start working on some bird studying with her. I know I have a coloring book on birds that would work well for her. Gracie wants to build, she's 9, Gracie. She wants to build a toy robot. She wants to learn more about birds, so she could possibly do that with Elizabeth today. She wants to learn knitting. She wants to do some painting and drawing. She's my very artistic, creative child, so I have a feeling she's going to end up knitting or sewing today if given a choice to do anything on her list. David is 11. He wants to do more baking and canning. Those are kind of he likes to work in the kitchen. He said he wants to learn how to use the computer program Excel. He would like to do some gardening with me, focus on basketball, and he also said he wants to make some sock puppets. It's kind of random. So I have a feeling that today he'll probably choose to do some baking as he usually does. And maybe I can get him working on Excel to make me a spreadsheet on some housework that needs done before the baby comes. That would be a good way for him to learn that skill. And then finally, I have Gabriel. He is 12, almost 13, and he's really into computers. So for his list, he said he would like to learn how to do some programming using Python. It's a computer program that helps learn coding. He would like to focus on playing his keyboard. He wants to learn the names of some dinosaurs. He'd like to learn Portuguese. I have an Instagram friend who had started some Portuguese lessons with the kids, and he really enjoyed that. So I'm going to get him set up to focus more on that. And then he wants to focus on creating 3-dimensional objects in the computer program Scratch that he already is pretty masterful in using. So I guess once we're done with chores here, I'm going to call the kids down and pick some items from their list and have them get started on doing some work. We may do some group reading together before we do that, though. All day long, Laura missed Pa, and at night when the wind blew lonesomely over the dark land, she felt hollow and aching. At first she talked about him. She wondered how far he had walked that day. She hoped his old patched boots were lasting. She wondered where he was camping that night. Elizabeth chose to work on learning about birds, so we made some copies out of this coloring book here. I love these Dover coloring books. They're so great. But they have pictures of birds, little descriptions of them. And then she has a bird guide here. Right now she's coloring an American goldfinch. So that gives her an accurate coloring. And she's copying that here on her beautiful picture. And then she's going to read about it and learn a little bit about those birds. And then this summer, she can go outside and identify. We have a goldfinch feeder, so she'll be able to identify them. And then the little boys are just coloring with her. And I think, what bird are you doing after a goldfinch? I think the Oriole. Is that the other one you chose? I think she chose a Baltimore Oriole. She picked out a couple to work on today, so she can really focus on memorizing what those 2 birds look like. Gabriel chose to work on his keyboard today. He had received this keyboard as a gift several months ago, and he has a little book here. Let me see if I can... How to play the keyboard, a guide for beginners. And he's been working on teaching himself that. And then my Gracie girl, she is working on making these kitty sticks. They're kitty toys, and she was hired by someone to create these. They're like a little fabric tube, and she stuffs them with polyfill and catnip. She's hard at work sewing those. I think she had an order of 10, right, honey?
Yes.
How many do you have done?
Well, I'm on my 7th one.
She's on her 7th, and so she said, as soon as you finish this job today, what are you going to do?
I'm going to start coloring.
Oh, she wants to do some drawing. That's right. So I told her she's got to get her, yeah, she's got to get her work done before she can do her coloring. Okay, I've got 3 busy down here and 1 upstairs. I'm going to go check on David and help him out and get myself upstairs, which is proving to be more difficult every day that passes. We'll get upstairs and see what he's up to. David looks busy. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, very good.
Very well. So, what I gave David, let me borrow this, buddy.
Okay.
I've been working on a list of all of the nesting jobs that I want to get done to have the house perfectly clean before the baby comes. And David already knows how to input data into Excel, but he is more interested in learning some of the more advanced functions. So he is helping me by making me a spreadsheet of this chore list, and then once he gets everything inputted, I'm going to teach him how to, make his table look a little nicer and use some of the advanced functions. Looks like we might need to work on some keyboarding skills too. Yeah. We're kind of poking at keys. We haven't taken a keyboarding class, but that might be something we do in the future, right, buddy?
Yep.
Just hanging out in the girls' room for a second, trying to catch my breath. I'm waddling around so badly and just kind of getting out of breath, hopping from child to child to see what help they need. And that's sort of my job on these unschooled days. I'm less of a teacher, more of just a facilitator and a manager. So the kids all know that I'm available to help them learn whatever they need to do to accomplish their goals. But these are some of the best days because, the kids picked these things that they wanted to learn. And so they're very motivated and interested and just really enthralled with what they're doing. So it's fun to experience that and to get to help them accomplish these things that they're enjoying. Looks like he's learning some songs here. Gabriel took several years, maybe 3 years of violin, so he has some musical knowledge. But this is his first time working with a keyboard, which is a little different. How's it going, sis?
Good.
It's beautiful. Very beautiful. That's one of Daddy's favorite birds.
Really?
Yeah, he loves goldfinches. That's why he bought the goldfinch feeder, to try to attract them. I have my 2 little boys here. They've decided that for school for them today, they want to help me get lunch started. And so Levi, silly, Levi chose biscuits. We're going to make some biscuits. We're going to make some biscuits for lunch, aren't we, boys? Are you guys going to help me?
Yeah?
Yeah? What are you going to do?
We need some honey, some salt, and some,
How about if you're my stirrer? Will you do the stirring for me?
yeah.
Okay, let's get started. So I got Levi working on my biscuits, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Here's our recipe that we used. We're a dairy-free family, so in place of butter, I used some home-rendered lard, and then in place of milk, we just used water today. But these should turn out nicely. You're so silly. Gotta start them out young. This is how they become capable when they're older. Start them when they're 2, 3, 4. By the time they're 5 and 6, then they can do the whole thing themselves. Grace finished all her sewing, so she's moving on to doing some drawing lessons. This is a book on how to draw planes, trains, and cars, all sorts of vehicles. So she's going to work on drawing an electric engine. Elizabeth looks like she's moved on to her Baltimore Oriole. Make sure you label that at the top, honey, what bird it is, okay?
So I just write Baltimore Oriole.
Yes.
Also, I got this done.
Yay, and David has my...
It wouldn't fit this on that page, so
okay.
I had to write it up here.
So it looks like you learned how to do some filling of the cells with colors and some bolding of fonts and changing fonts. It's really wonderful, honey. Very helpful. Thank you. Levi, your biscuits look fantastic. So we'll have those for lunch with some sunflower seed butter and jelly and some other various side dishes. 2 at once. Woo! Okay, friends, it's been a fun morning. Sometimes these rainy days end up being a blessing. These are things that we probably wouldn't have gotten to had we been busy outside running around and playing and working. So we just use these days to our advantage. But I've got my helper here finishing up lunch. We're going to get that served, and then it's going to be time for naps and free time for the children. So I hope you enjoyed following along on our little unschooling morning. I hope you'll like and subscribe, and may you have a blessed day. We look forward to talking to you in the future. Bye.